Good morning, cadets. We have started discussing about thermal expansion. Increase in the dimensions as a increase in temperature is called as thermal expansion. If, for example, if it is a wire, if it is a cable, if it is a line, if there is increase in length, per unit length as a result of increase in temperature, then we call it as linear expansion. If it is a plate, a rectangular plate or circular plate, if there is increase in area due to increase in temperature, then we call it as superficial expansion or areal expansion. Area expansion. If the bulk as a whole expands, suppose we take example of metallic cube or metallic sphere. Due to rise in temperature, if the volume of the material expands due to rise in temperature, then we call it as volume expansion. And based on that, we discussed about coefficient of linear expansion. Coefficient of linear expansion is defined as change in length per unit rise in temperature, or fractional change in length per unit change in temperature. Fractional change in length per unit change in temperature is called as coefficient of linear expansion. Let us see some of the examples of coefficient of linear expansion. We have listed the metals, and you know it's our common experience that metals expand more than any other materials because the metals have good values of coefficient of linear expansion. They have got high values of coefficient of linear expansion. Aluminium has got highest in this list, you see, 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 per Kelvin. Brass 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 5 per Kelvin. Iron 1.9 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. I think it is, yes. Aluminium, brass, gold, silver. Silver has got 1.9 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. Iron has got 1.2 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Kelvin. Iron is having little less compared to aluminium and compared to brass. Copper is having 1.7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Kelvin. And gold 1.4 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. What do you mean by this? Per Kelvin rise in temperature or per degree Celsius rise in temperature, a given length of a metal expands to this value. If you are taken, for example, if you are taken silver wire, the silver wire of certain length, say of 1 meter wire, if its temperature is just raised by 1 degree Celsius or by 1 Kelvin, then its length increases by 1.9 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per meter. That is the meaning of coefficient of linear expansion. So we conclude that metals expand more and have relatively high values of coefficient of linear expansion. Then let us now discuss one more very important coefficient, that is called coefficient of volume expansion. Coefficient of volume expansion, alpha V, is defined as fractional change in volume per unit change in temperature. This is called as coefficient of volume expansion. Coefficient of volume expansion. So this is also a constant characteristic of a material, characteristic of a metal. Then it has a coefficient of volume expansion can be found out for solids, liquids as well as for gases also. So change in volume per unit rise in temperature is called as coefficient of volume expansion, right? So whether it is linear expansion coefficient of linear expansion, coefficient of areal expansion or coefficient of volume expansion, they are all measured per Kelvin because the unit cancels here in the numerator. Unit of volume cancels here, you are left with only unit of temperature in the denominator. Therefore, it is measured in terms of per Kelvin. You can see here, it is measured in terms of per Kelvin. Here also it is measured in terms of per Kelvin. Now, if you look at this value for different materials, it is very interesting to see that the coefficient of volume expansion does not remain constant. It remains constant only at higher temperatures. So, coefficient of volume expansion depends on temperature. So, if you draw the graph of coefficient of volume expansion versus temperature, alpha V versus temperature. Temperature in Kelvin, temperature T in Kelvin. If we take this, then we find that curve, we get a curve 250 Kelvin, 500 Kelvin. This is 0 Kelvin. So it starts from 0 and it increases like this and almost remains constant afterwards. You can see here the graph is variable at lower temperatures. It means the coefficient of cubical expansion or volume expansion is not constant at lower temperatures. Only at higher temperatures, means from 0 degree onwards at about room temperatures and so on, up to say 0 to 100 degrees Celsius, you can say, you can see here the coefficient of cubical expansion almost remaining constant. This is almost remaining constant. So this is the behavior of the materials with respect to variation of temperature as far as volume expansion is concerned. Now let us study some of the solids, liquids and later on gases. We will come to know that solids will have a very less value of coefficient of cubical expansion. Solids, especially the metals have a very less value of coefficient of cubical expansion, whereas the liquids have better values and the gases have still higher values. Okay, let us see by looking at the list of solids, liquids and gases. Here you can watch that I have listed the coefficient of volume expansion at higher temperatures, that is from 0 degree Celsius to 100 degree Celsius. In this range of nearly 273 onwards, you see, from 273 onwards, coefficient of linear expansion of the materials is almost remaining constant. In this range, we have listed the examples of solids and some of the liquids here. So this is a graph of alpha V versus temperature in absolute scale, that is Kelvin scale. You can just see 250 Kelvin, 500 Kelvin. So almost from 270 onwards, from 0 degree Celsius onwards, is almost remaining constant. But for lower temperatures, the coefficient of linear cubical expansion, coefficient of volume expansion decreases. Okay. Now, at this range of 0 to 100 degrees Celsius, some of the materials we have written here. I have written here: aluminium, brass, iron, invar. Aluminium, brass, iron, invar. These are the metals. And look at these values of the metals. Alpha V, 7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. That is of aluminium. It's having little higher value compared to brass. 6 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. Iron is having still lower value, 3.55 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. So iron has one advantage, that it can be used in the furnaces where temperature variation is very high. Wherever high temperature furnaces are required, it will be better to use iron. And one more important metal is invar. Invar is having still lower value, very less value, 2 into 10 to the power of 10 to the power of minus 6 per Kelvin. So this is invar. It is an alloy consisting of iron and nickel. It's an alloy consisting of iron and nickel. You see, in between we have taken glass. Ordinary glass also expands. See, it has also got good value, 2.5 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. And Pyrex glass. Pyrex glass is a special type of glass, specially prepared. It has got very less value of the coefficient of volume expansion, 1 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. So these are all the values of some of the metals and the solids. So they have less value compared to liquids. I have taken the examples of some of the liquids like mercury, alcohol and water. These liquids have higher values of coefficient of volume expansion. They expand better than the solids. That's the meaning. The volume expansion of liquids is much better than that of solids. Mercury has got 18.2 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin, whereas alcohol has 110 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. It means alcohol is expanding much better, much more better than mercury. Water also has a good value of coefficient of volume expansion, 20.7 into 10 to the power of minus 5 per Kelvin. So, looking at these values of volume expansions of mercury and alcohol, one can check, one can now confirm that the thermometers consisting of mercury and alcohol, if you have comparison, the alcohol will have a better expansion properties than mercury. Therefore, the mercury and alcohol thermometers will show different temperatures for a particular level of heat. So, mercury thermometer is usually used for measuring higher temperature from 0 to 100 degrees Celsius. For measuring lower temperatures, alcohol is used, as I have discussed yesterday, right? Water is not used as a liquid material in the thermometer because of its own properties. That the water has a freezing point at 0 degrees Celsius, it freezes to become ice, and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, it starts boiling at 100 degrees Celsius. Therefore, water is not used, and it sticks to the glass also. Okay, these are the properties. Now, let us discuss some of the important properties of water in particular. Water shows a very interesting behavior. It is called as anomalous expansion of water. Let us study anomalous expansion of water. Water has a very peculiar expansion properties. So it is termed as anomalous expansion property of water. It is exhibited by water alone. Therefore, it is called as anomalous expansion of water. What is it? Let us see. Very interesting. If you draw the graph of volume of, let us say, some 1 gram of water or volume of 1 kg of water versus temperature in degrees Celsius. As you go on cooling the water, from say, let us say, room temperature is hardly taken 25 degrees Celsius or to the most 27 degrees Celsius or even 22, 23 degrees Celsius. As you go on cooling the water of a given amount of volume, then the volume contraction takes place. The volume of the water goes on decreasing. Volume of water goes on decreasing until 4 degrees Celsius. It's very interesting. As you go on decreasing temperature, you see from 10 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius and so on, if you go on decreasing until 4 degrees, the volume of water goes on decreasing. At 4 degrees Celsius, it will have 1 cc, that is 1 cubic centimeter for 1 gram of water. As a result, at 4 degrees Celsius, it will have 1 gram per cc, the density. Water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 1 gram per centimeter cube, which is the maximum value at 4 degrees Celsius. If you go on cooling further from 4 degrees Celsius to 3 degrees, 3 to 1 to 0 degrees Celsius, it's very interesting. The volume expands. There is expansion of volume as it is approaching the ice point. From 4 degrees Celsius to ice point, the volume of water expands. This is the anomalous behavior of water. As a result, what happens? At 4 degrees Celsius, the density of water is going to be constant. So these are the graphs. One is the graph of volume versus temperature in degrees Celsius. Another one is the graph of density versus temperature in degrees Celsius. This is density here of water, and this is along x-axis temperature in degrees Celsius. Again, if you see, as you go on cooling from 10 degrees Celsius to 8, 7, 6, 5, the density is increasing. The density is increasing. It's quite obvious. But at 4 degrees Celsius, the density becomes maximum. Below 4 degrees Celsius, it's very interesting. As you approach from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 0 degrees Celsius, freezing point of ice. At 0 degrees Celsius, water freezes to form ice. As it forms solid ice, since the volume increases, the density decreases. You know, density is equal to mass per unit volume. Mass remains the same. For a given mass of water, m will be constant. As volume increases from 4 to 0 degrees Celsius, density decreases from 4 to 0 degrees Celsius. At 4 degrees Celsius, it is exactly having 1 gram per centimeter cube. But you see, at 3 it is reduced. At 2 it is almost 0.995. At 1 degree it is almost 0.990. At 0 degrees Celsius, it is having 0.9985. So the density of ice is lower than the density of water. As a result, ice cube, if you take in water, ice cube always floats on the surface of water. This is the reason why ice floats on the water surface. So this plays a very important role in the nature. This plays a very vital role in the nature. So what is anomalous expansion of water? I think now you got it. Water contracts on heating from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, and water has maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius. As water is cooled from 4 degrees Celsius to lower temperatures, 0 degrees Celsius and lower, the volume of water expands. Volume of water increases, and thus its density decreases. Density decreases from 4 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. You can see here from the graph. From 4 degree onwards, it behaves like any other liquid. So this is the anomalous expansion of water. When we heat it above 4 degrees Celsius, again the density decreases. Below 4 degrees Celsius also the density decreases. Above 4 degrees Celsius also, when you go on heating, the density decreases. This is the anomalous behavior of water. Even on heating above 4 degrees Celsius, you can see above 4 degrees Celsius, volume expansion takes place. Volume increases, and density decreases. This behavior is called as anomalous expansion of water. What is its significance in the nature? Let us learn now. Importance of anomalous expansion of water. It has a very important environmental effect. Let us see. I have just drawn symbolically a lake in the cold countries, cold regions, right? In the cold regions, what happens? Temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius. Temperature will be -5, -10 degrees Celsius, -20 degrees Celsius, -14 degrees Celsius, -15 degrees Celsius. Siachen glacier and all, you know, completely everything is ice. What happens to the lakes and ponds at that lower temperature is very important. As the temperature, these are the, just for convenience, I have drawn a lake into different layers of water. Say I have drawn some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of water. So as the temperature of the environment goes on cooling, then what happens? As it goes on cooling, then the volume of water goes on expanding, then the density of water goes on increasing. As the volume of water goes on decreasing, as the volume of water goes on decreasing, then what happens? Density of water goes on increasing. Say, let us say the temperature is decreasing from 10 degrees Celsius below. So as it decreases from 10 to 9, 9 to 8, 8 to 6, 5, what is happening? The volume is decreasing, and at 4 degrees Celsius, the volume becomes minimum. As we have seen, the volume becomes minimum. At that 4 degrees Celsius, the upper layer of water becomes dense. At 4 degrees Celsius, it has not yet reached 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. At 4 degrees Celsius, the upper layer of water becomes dense, means its density becomes maximum, since it is having minimum value of volume. As a result of the upper layer becoming a very dense liquid layer, it becomes heavy and it goes down. As it goes down, the lower layers which are less dense, these lower layers, they start moving up. Okay, so the lowest layer will be having 4 degrees Celsius, followed by upper layer 3 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius, 1 degree Celsius. As further cooling takes place, from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1 degree Celsius, again volume expansion takes place. When the volume expansion takes place, density of water decreases. You can see here, as you move from 4 to 1 degree Celsius and 0 degree Celsius, the volume of water is increasing. When the volume of water is increasing, as a result, density is decreasing. So the uppermost layer of water will be having the lowest density, and we can say it will be a temperature 0 degree Celsius or even less than 0 degree Celsius. And the upper layer, being least dense, will be completely frozen. This forms the frozen layer. The upper layer will be completely frozen layer. It forms complete ice layer. Even if the temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius, -1, -5, -10 degrees Celsius, this upper layer of the water will not further freeze the lower layer of water. That is the significance of this anomalous expansion of water. So upper layer acts as a shield, thermal shield, which will not allow the lower layers of water to further lose their temperature. So the upper layer will be completely frozen, leaving behind the lower layers at higher temperatures, still at liquid water state. This will be still at liquid state, liquid water state. This And this has got a very important environmental effect. As I said, the plants which are there and the animals, especially the fish which are there, they will be comfortable deep inside the water. So these fish, marine animals and the plants will be safe. So marine animals and the plants which are there deep inside the lake and pond will be safe because the upper layer is totally frozen. So the entire winter season it will be having the upper surface totally frozen. You must have seen in Jammu Kashmir the Dal Lake will be totally frozen, and if you break that upper surface water, there will be water inside. The upper surface of the ice, if it is broken, there will be water inside. This is the significance of anomalous expansion of water. I think you got the point. As temperature decreases from 4 degrees Celsius below, the volume expands and the density decreases. And even when the water is heated above 4 degrees Celsius, same thing happens. Volume decreases and density decreases. But at 4 degrees Celsius, the volume is minimum. As a result, the density is maximum. The water has a maximum density 1 gram per centimeter cube at 4 degrees Celsius at atmospheric pressure. That is the importance of the volume expansion of water, which is a peculiar, therefore it is termed as anomalous expansion of water. So if a question is asked to write a note on anomalous expansion of water and its significance, you need to draw both the graphs and explain what happens when it is cooled from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius, and what happens when it is heated from 4 degree onwards, what happens to the volume, and then what happens to the density, and what is its environmental effect. That becomes the answer. This is frequently asked question in the exams as well as in the interviews also. So it is very, very important. Now let us learn thermal expansion of gases. Thermal expansion of gases in terms of volume expansion. We discussed until now only about solids, metals, especially metals and liquids, and then we discussed about water. Now let us discuss about gases. Gases, gaseous state, it will expand to a great extent due to heating effect. So thermal expansion of gases will be very much high compared to that of liquids and solids. That's quite obvious. So in order to study the thermal expansion, we have to find out the equation for coefficient of volume expansion. We have to find out the equation for coefficient of volume expansion. So let us consider ideal gas equation. Consider ideal gas equation. We know that Pp equal to mu RT is the equation for ideal gas equation, which relates the variables which define state of gas such as pressure, volume and temperature. They are related with the help of PV equal to mu RT, where mu is the fixed number of moles. So it relates pressure, volume, amount of substance in terms of moles and the temperature. Now we consider ideal gas equation even for the real gases at low densities, as we have discussed yesterday. So the real gases even at low densities, at lower densities, they will also behave like an ideal gas law. They will also obey the ideal gas law at low densities. Okay. Now if we differentiate this on both sides, so that by keeping constant P, if pressure P is constant, always we take the atmospheric pressure being almost constant all the times. So if P is kept constant and then as there is a change in the volume, there is a corresponding change in temperature. P delta V is equal to mu R delta T. It means if you differentiate, keeping V constant, P delta V is equal to mu R. Mu is constant, R is a gas constant, universal gas constant, that is also constant. So only variable is T. Therefore, I have written instead of dt, I have written delta T. Instead of dV, I have written delta V. Now call this equation 1 and equation 2. Dividing equation 2 by 1, we get important result. Dividing equation 2 by equation 1, we get P delta V by Pv is equal to mu R delta T by mu R T. Mu R T. You can see here P cancels, mu R cancels. This implies, therefore, delta V by V is equal to delta T by P. We want the equation for coefficient of volume expansion. We know that alpha V is equal to delta V by V by delta T. Delta V by V by delta T. Now look at this equation. Take this delta T to the left hand side. So we get delta V by V into delta T. Therefore it becomes 1 by T. Therefore alpha V becomes equal to 1 by T. That's what here I have written. So it becomes 1 by T. This is very interesting. Therefore coefficient of volume expansion of gases alpha V is equal to 1 by V, 1 by T. Remember, T, when I write it in capital letter, T means it is temperature in Kelvin, where T is 3 degrees Celsius plus 273.15 is temperature in Kelvin. Temperature in Kelvin. Now, this relates the temperature dependence of volume expansion. As temperature increases, volume expansion of the gases decreases. As temperature decreases, volume expansion of the gases increases. This is very interesting. Coefficient of volume expansion is equal to 1 by T. As temperature increases, coefficient of volume expansion decreases. As temperature decreases, coefficient of volume expansion increases. So it is inverse of temperature in Kelvin. So if you just calculate at 0 degrees Celsius, what is alpha V at 0 degrees Celsius? At 0 degrees Celsius, capital T is equal to 273.15 Kelvin. So therefore, for any gas at 0 degrees Celsius, it becomes 1 upon 273. So 1 upon 273.15 Kelvin. If you calculate, it comes out to be a fixed value. That is, it is 3.7 into 10 raised to minus 3 Kelvin. Calculate this, it comes out to be minus 3 Kelvin. So this is the constant value for the gases at 0 degrees Celsius. This is important. Then what is its value at room temperature? Room temperature, its value will be still reduced. At room temperature, at room temperature, let us say room temperature is T degrees Celsius equal to 27. It's easy for us, convenient. So that temperature in Kelvin becomes 300 Kelvin. So alpha V becomes 1 upon 300 Kelvin. 1 upon 300 if you calculate, this comes out to be 3300 into 10 to the power of minus 6 per Kelvin. 300 into 10 to the power of minus 6 per Kelvin. That is, you can write 33 into 10 to the power of minus 4 or 40 or 3.3 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Kelvin. So as temperature increases from 0 degree Celsius to room temperature, say 27 degree Celsius, from 273 to 300 Kelvin, the coefficient of volume expansion decreases from 3.7 into 10 raised to minus 3 Kelvin to 3.3 into 10 raised to minus 3 Kelvin. Therefore, the coefficient of volume expansion for gases is inverse of is equal to 1 by T, inverse of temperature in absolute scale, temperature in Kelvin. So this is about the behavior of gases and volume expansion of gases. Okay. In the next video, we will learn the important relation between alpha L, alpha V and alpha A. Thank you. Have a nice day.